The Breed movie. The story of the movie begins with Jenny and her lover, Lou, who were on their yacht, lost at sea. They see an island from afar and decide to go to it. When they arrived, Luke remained tied to the yacht, but his lover left her and went looking for a house or any person in the island's forest in a mood to help them. She saw a place surrounded by a smile, and when she called out to the one inside, no one was there, so she returned on her way to the forest, and while she was walking in the forest, she heard the sound of an animal behind her, but when she turned around, no one was there. When she continued on her way, the sound increased, so she was very scared. When she turned around again, she saw a dog behind her and it started running after her quickly. Scary, she hid behind a tree, but the dog attacked her and dragged her by her leg and he threw her into the forest. When he heard her scream, he started shouting at her, but she did not respond to him. The dog then had the chance to eat her until she died. Meanwhile, we see a plane in the air with a group of friends inside. They were heading to the same island where Luke and Jenny were, or the ones inside the plane were Matt and his brother John, or their friend Noah, or their friends Sarah and Nick, who he left for them before he died. We know that they were going to relieve themselves from the pressure of studying, and when they arrived, they said that they had not visited this place for 13 years, and also their uncle had lived here for 30 years studying animals and birds. They entered the house in a relaxed mood, and then John died. They went to the garage outside the house and found their uncle's car, which is still there. When John got into the car, he managed to operate it, but they were shocked at how it was able to work after 13 years of leaving it, and that it had been underwater before. Now we see Sarah and Noah preparing lunch, and while she was working on the blender to make milk, the electricity went out, so they and Noah went down to the basement in the mood to fix the electricity, and they actually went down and fixed it. Then they all go out to the lake opposite the house and enjoy their time together. They hear a voice close to them. They see a small black dog, 8 weeks old but big in size. She doesn't tell them that this dog is German. Sarah says that she thought we were alone on the island, but she doesn't tell her. Maybe someone left him there, and then they went back to enjoy their time together. At night, they brought the dog with them to the house, and they were all together and enjoying their time. Then the dog went out of the house, and John started going after Mood to bring him, so he went between the trees, and when Mood went to get him, a big dog attacked her, or John. He was far from her. The dog bit Sarah's leg and ran away. Ogun took Sarah and brought her into the house. As for Matt, he bandaged Sarah's wound and asked her if she had provoked the dog, but she told him that he had attacked her without me doing anything to him, or she did not tell her that she had to get treatment quickly from the hospital. Before your condition worsens, you might get an infection or a virus. Finnick says that we need to prepare the plane in the mood to return. John tells them that a dog bit me before and I didn't take any treatment and nothing happened to me. He says that she can take the treatment within 1 week. John tells the dead man that Gina Hannon was in a mood to forget the pressure of studying because he died. He was a medical student, and he also told him not to take this matter as an excuse not to come back. So they decided that they would stay on the island, and when the trip was over, she would get the treatment. Indeed, everyone agreed on this matter, and now we know that Nick, her lover, died, and they were staying up late, so he tells her that before on this island, they established a dog training institution, and when I heard that, I had a passion to be a trainer, but after a year, they were afflicted with a disease like anger, or they couldn't control them, so they killed them all. Finnick tells him that it is possible that this dog is one of them, so he says, she said that if there was a dog that escaped at that time, it is impossible for it to still be alive until now, because rabid dogs die after that. A short while later, we see John going to the kitchen to drink some water. There, he sees Sarah standing, but her behavior is very strange. She tells him that nothing is wrong with me, I just can't sleep. And since morning, they were all gathered together having breakfast, but Sarah was in a strange state and was eating. She gave him good news, and then John took the bow and arrows and decided to go to the forest and hunt anything. Noah and Matt decided to go with him, but Nick refused to let her go because she was afraid of dogs. After that, Sarah and Nick went down to the lake to swim. As for Noah and Juno, they were in the forest and they heard strange sounds, but they didn't care and continued on their way. Noah moved away from them a little to take pictures of nature, but Hanan was shocked by the presence of a big dog in front of him. He was very afraid of it. When he turned to run away, he was shocked by the presence of 2 dogs behind him. He was afraid and ran away from them quickly. He started calling for John and died, and he falls to the ground. They pray to him, Matu and John, and he tells them that he saw a group of wild dogs, and suddenly Luke appears in front of them, and his body was covered in blood, and he tells them to go before the dogs attack you, and while he is talking, the dog attacks him and manages to eat him and dies, and after that, Noah, John, and Matt run away quickly. They go back home, and before they arrive, they see a group of dogs. They start watching Sarah and Nick and start shouting at them and warning them to enter the house quickly, but Nick and Sarah don't hear them. The dogs hear the sound and quickly attack them. They all start running, and even Nick and Sarah were trying to enter the house quickly, but the dogs were behind them, and unfortunately, Nick fell to the ground and the dog bit her leg. Suddenly, from afar, he directed an arrow towards the dog that bit Nick in order to kill him, but the dog ran away quickly and the arrow entered Nick's leg. After that, they left for the house. She died. Quickly, Nick or Sarah came to the rescue. She told them that we had to escape as quickly as possible because our situation here was very dangerous. At that moment, a dog attacked Noah from the window. The dog stopped in front of Sarah without moving. John quickly attacked the dog and took advantage of the opportunity. They were able to finish him off. They quickly gathered their things. They were in a mood to escape, and when they went up to the plane, they saw the dogs on top of it, so they went back home and thought of a way to keep the dogs away from the plane. After a while, the birds looked out of the window at the plane and saw it open from its place and heading to the lake, so they quickly went up in a mood to return the plane, and they saw the rope cut, so they knew that the dogs had bitten it and cut it. So John started swimming towards the plane, and before he arrived, he was shocked by the presence of dogs on the side of the plane. He got scared and tried to escape quickly, and the dogs started swimming in the lake and chasing him. He quickly reached his friends who were waiting for him. The house, and when they arrived, they quickly pull, but they see a large group of dogs swimming towards them, so they quickly run away to the house, and the plane continues on its way to the lake, so they lose their only way to escape. Or after that, they started to secure the windows in order for the dogs not to enter them through them. And now we see Sarah, and her condition is about to get worse. More than that, John remembers his uncle's car that is in the garage and tells them, let's try to get out of the island with it and get to the training institution, because there is definitely a way to communicate, and with people in a mood to help him, because Hanan is not here. Neither phones nor internet are after that. They are all in a mood to go to the garage, but they saw the dogs were everywhere, so they decided to climb up the house and tie a rope to climb to the garage without the dogs noticing. They were able to fix the rope, but Nika suggested that she go in their place because she has experience in climbing and it is her hobby. She actually climbs and reaches, then she breaks the window on the roof of the garage and enters, and there is a group of dogs attacking the garage. When she tries to start the car, it does not start, and suddenly the dogs attack the car and you are terrified. Then she climbs out of the roof of the car and runs away quickly and goes to the window she came in from, and she climbs back and goes home. Her friends, and at night, Noah played songs on a mood to relieve the pressure they live with on this island. Then the electricity went out and Noah decided to go down to the basement on a mood to turn it back on. When he turned it on and wanted to go out, it went out again. When he went back to it, he hit his foot on a water can or fell to the ground. After that, he saw a big hole. In the basement, he reached the outside, and when he wanted to stop, a group of dogs attacked him. He started screaming, and when they died, John went to the basement and saw the terrifying scene. They couldn't save him, so they quickly closed the basement door and left his things in front of him. Meanwhile, the dogs attacked the house from all the doors and windows. They quickly went up to the second floor, and then a dog attacked Ayla and bit him, but John was able to save him, and they were able to hide in the upper part of the house. John told them that we must get out of here in any way possible. Ausar blames him and says that you are the reason, or after that she comes back to apologize to him. Meanwhile, Matt reads a book about the training institution and learns that they were conducting experiments on dogs, so they were the ones who changed the dogs and said they were rabid and killed them, or they became this savage. Then one morning they go down to make sure that there are no dogs in the house. Matt and John go to the garage in order to start the car. Finnick and Sarah stay. At home, she went and told them that it was impossible for us to leave here and that I would not come back with you. So he got into the car, or he didn't push it until it started, or indeed it started and went fast. They didn't see the dogs running after them, so he quickly ran and climbed onto the car while he took the bow. The arrows were from John, and the dog jumped on the car quickly, but John was not seeing anything in front of him and was driving quickly, and suddenly the bow fell from his hand, and with it he was able to push the dog away and get into the car. But Hanan said the car moved, so John went down quickly into the forest in the mood to escape from the dogs, and indeed the car started. It works properly, and then they go back home and call Nick and Sarah quickly. Nick quickly goes to the car and tells them that Sarah does not accept to go with us. John tells them that he will go in and convince her and come back, but she was insistent on her decision, or else a dog will enter on them. She went and asked John to get out of the window, is going to deal with this dog, and then John falls out of the window, so the dog attacks Sarah quickly, and Sarah and the dog fall out of the window onto a bar, and it enters their bodies, both of them, and they die, and John is very sad about her, but he dies. He drags John to the car, and they leave with Nick, or after that, they reach the institution or jump from the sim and enter. Omad is shocked when he sees that a lot of experiments were conducted on the genes of dogs, even they became in this state. They then reached the communications room, but the wire in the tower was cut off, so they were unable to communicate with anyone. Jan went to the tower and climbed and went up, and then he saw from afar the yacht that Luke and Jenny came, and when he formed the wire in the tower, it fell, and as a result of this request, a fire broke out in one of the rooms of the institution that she was in, and she was trying to get out, and when she got out, she saw the dogs attacking John, and he was not trying to save him. So she made a sound and was able to lure the dogs. That inside the room that was burning with fire, a large group of dogs entered it, and then the room exploded, and John and Matt were very sad for Nick because she was inside, and they thought that she died, but John quickly said that Matt was on the yacht that he saw, or he told him we have to get out of here quickly, but when they turn around, they find a large group of dogs surrounding them. Nick appears as she gets into the car and quickly takes John and Matt. They flee the place while she drives fast, or they fall into the lake. We see them in the middle of the car car in the water. They get out of the car and swim towards the yacht, get in and move quickly. Nick says to them, "Where are we going?" We go, and in the meantime, John opens the yacht door in order to enter, but unfortunately a dog attacks him from inside and he manages to finish them off, and here is the end of the movie.